Lake Eildon for me is one of the most exciting and challenging fisheries that's been developed around Melbourne for decades. It's really only come on in the last decade, even though the lake has been there since 1953. And this has been because we've stocked the lake with golden perch and Murray cod and a pretty good stocking of rainbow trout as well. Really exciting times to come in the next 10 years. Well, 2010 has seen the water come back into Lake Eildon. I'm just up the top end of the lake here in the Bonnie Doon arm, just going down towards Pepin Point, trolling the shallows for a trout. As you can see here, it's all flooded, margins are flooded, trout are back in the margins. Some really good trout fishing up here at the moment. Oh yeah, little brown trout. We'll just get him in there carefully. There we go, there's a typical Eildon brown trout. Nice pretty fish. There you go, we'll let this guy go. See if we can get one of his bigger brothers. How's that? Well, that's a typical Lake Eildon brown. Well, look how silvery it is too, because it's a lake fish. So what's happened with this brown trout, it's actually living out in the middle of the lake, probably roaming in a pelagic type manner and feeding on forage or other fish. Lake Eildon has a lot of fish in it, redfin, carp, roach, and I'm sure this is what this guy's feeding on. But brown trout that do that find it very difficult to get condition up. They're not in the shallows, swimming around chasing fish, so they're expending a lot of energy. That's not a bad sized fish, but very, very skinny. It's nailed a white Tassie Devil, it's got it on the single hook there. Tassie Devils are an effective choice for me because they have exactly the right run depth that you want for fishing these shallow margins. So it just means all you've got to do on the day is work out what colour's going to catch the fish. So let this guy go, see if we can find a bigger one. The way I like to rig my Tassie Devils is to remove the existing hook hardware and the wire and simply run the line through the centre of the lure. Line size 6 pound or 0.18 millimetre seems to work for me. What hooks you use, you can either use a single number 2 hook or you can use 2 single number 2s reversed. I tend to use them both. They both seem to work equally as well. To be perfectly honest, flatline trolling for trout is probably one of the easiest and most, well, not lazy, but one of the easiest forms of fishing. And when things are flooded like this, when new ground in lakes gets flooded and water spills out into new bays and trees and bushes and everything get flooded, it really is probably the preferred option. All you need to do is to be trolling in about, say, 3 to 10 metres of water, or let's say 12 feet through to 24 feet. And you're just running Tassie Devils in this case. Sometimes a lot of us will troll shallow diving minnows, but found today, Tassie Devils are just working the treat. And all we're doing is I'm just running 2 flatline rods, just simple, in a rod holder. As long as it has the rod basically parallel to the water, so you can monitor the lure. You get a fish on, it'll just bend over and you know you've got it on. Really simple. about 3 kilometres, 3.5 kilometres an hour for those of you who have a GPS. I tend to just monitor my rod tip with the Tassie Devils. When you get that good action on your Tassie Devil, I'm trying to run at the highest speed possible at the moment, so I'm after a good, strong rod tip action. Just pull it back down again and you'll get that slower, more subtle action, but I'm finding I'm getting much better bites at a bit faster speed, so I'm after that. For me, is just throwing a lure out the back and making sure that the rod's placed horizontal to the water so you can monitor the strike, and simply just trolling the lure around the lake. Oh, here we go. Feel a bit of weight on this one. Oh, here's a nice fish too. Now this, yes, nice brown. Might need the net on this guy. Now that is a nice Eildon brown. Lake trout, probably about 1 kilo. In good nick for an Eildon trout. Believe it or not, usually they're really skinny. It's probably about pushing 1 kilo. And it's taken on a white Tassie Devil with a bit of yellow in it. Good lure during these bright sunny days. Single hook. You get, oh look, it's only just hooked too. Just came out. There's a lovely fish. Well, with that, I reckon I might even keep this fish to take home. It's probably going to be about as good a fish as I'd like to get out of Lake Eildon. It's a nice brownie, another nice brownie. It's trolling in the shallows here. Now this might be one of these ones. This guy's obviously been feeding in the shallows here. We've just been trolling the Tassie Devil through these trees in the shallow water. Probably took this in about 12 foot of water. Oh yeah, have a look at that. That's another nice brown. And the coloration, quite different. Quite different to that one that we got out on the lake shore. Look at that. Not as silvery all over, marked up, brown on the flanks. And although the fish is not as long, it's a lot deeper, a little bit better condition too. So it's obviously feeding around in these shallows here and picking up on a lot more food. It's taken another white Tassie Devil. I've got a double hook rig here, double singles. It's only just been lip hooked too on the side. These are good fish. They're nice fish for Lake Eildon. Haven't seen fishing like this for 10 years. Great floodwater fishing. And again, have a look at the water here. All flooded up through here. We're just back on the western side of Lake Eildon. Water's still fairly dirty too, but the trout are biting. They're obviously shoveling around in here after all sorts of things. One of the most exciting things about flatline trolling in Lake Eildon for trout is the bycatch. And the bycatch includes native fish, which is going to get a lot of people excited, especially me, and some very, very good golden perch. Flooded Lake Eildon, what it means for trout anglers is good fishing at least in the first 12 months. After that, things will die off and it's not going to be quite as good. But in the first 12 months, in those flooded margins, you're going to get some great forage feeders around the edges. One thing we've also found is that the levels have continued to rise right through the summer. So I think we're going to enjoy excellent freshwater fishing through in 2011-2012 in Lake Eildon.